Hi Steve, good session today. Hope you found it helpful. Just going to run through what we're discussing now with the driver. This is relevant for all shots in the game of golf really. We're talking about full shots. Really the setup position, you start in one position here with that left hip on the yellow line. At impact, what we would look for is your left hip and certainly your body to have moved through that left line towards the target. What you were actually trying to do, and as we said in the lesson, the good thing about this is you were actually doing what you were trying to do. So the problem was what you were doing was causing the pull hook and the potential slice. So you were there kind of, rather than any kind of shift of weight here, it was more of a kind of rotation. You see that left foot spinning out the way. But as we get into impact, your left hip hasn't really gone through that yellow line at all. And only really the right hip kind of goes through it as you come around. The left hip never really actually transfers through that yellow line. So sort of moving around and basically too much kind of rotational movement this way, as opposed to a shift first and then the pivot. So if we look on the left hand side now, this will be a kind of drill we can do. Swing the top of the backswing and just imagine there's that sort of wall there up through your left foot, and you're going to try and sort of bump into that wall, and in some ways do it a bit more than you really want to. Exaggerate that feeling as much as you can. Get that sort of drop and pump there on the left side. So when it actually comes to playing the golf shot for real, you're not going to feel such an exaggeration because you've done that in the practice swing. And then when it comes to swinging the golf club, we're not thinking quite so much. If we look here now and we get set with a driver, if we draw that line and place it through your left hip there, as we start swinging here now, again, camera's moved a smidgen, you can see a good rotation at the top of the backswing again as before. Good movement here now. And the gap between your sort of edge of your white belt and the yellow line, we're going to close that gap, as you can see there. So your left hip now moving towards target. The weight is now shifting into your left side. So we're getting first a bump in that direction, and then the rotation follows after that, because your hips will rotate. There's no doubt about it. We've got to get that shift to the left side first, and then as we come to the target, you can see now a much fuller rotation and a bit more footwork than you probably need, but that's probably more down to the fact that you haven't really been shifting. You've just been spinning around, so your body's in a slightly different position to what it's used to, so you'll have to readapt to kind of where you are in relationship to the golf ball. But yeah, certainly is the focus point. Work on that left hip moving. So do it in practice as much as you can. Exaggerate it too much, so when it comes to the shot itself, you're just making a sort of free swing without really thinking too much, but that hip's kind of already been engaged in the practice movement to move left, so now it's triggering itself and it'll automatically sort of move that way more so, and that'll just help you change your path and your angle of attack in the golf ball, as opposed to be too rotational, a bit too steep, and the club kind of swinging too far left. And basically depending on what the club was, impact, square or closed or open, you either that sort of pull smothery hook, a pull, or a big cut out to the right there. So hope that all makes sense. Any questions, obviously give me a shout, but we'll catch up soon. Cheers, Steve.